never got something so small.
I can get his.
Well, I know.
Gonna do whatever it is he said he was gonna do.
Is that the one of the picture here? Oh, it's well, that'll be better. Yes,
Well, I was gonna ask you two things. I was gonna ask
It
how,
just got full out of way.
was it working? Oh, I see. I tried really hard. I mean, I'd stop anywhere. I would.
Let's call the meeting to order at 7:03. And who's joining me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Sue? Rudy? Here. Lori? Here. John?
Here.
Laura? Board member comments?
I'm all abstaining from whole business 9, the contract. It's chief.
90, trustee Jonathan Hutchison will abstain from that. Oh, okay. Any other conflict of interest statements? Okay. Public comment on agenda items. Public comment period is closed. Approval of meeting agenda. I have
Is that what the master workers?
Hello? Hello. It is 9C. I'd like to remove that from the agenda for right now, the employee handbook changes. The research and everything is just physically not right. So it's just not right. Okay. So we don't. You don't want to talk about what the law is in this moment? I did that at the last meeting, so I just physically have to figure out how to get it in there and I'm not a happy person. Okay. Any other meeting agenda? Do you want to insert this more recent report? When we get to the bills, I'll just go through them. Okay. The only, anyone else? I would like to add above, under item 8, reports, before item A,
Can we stick the sewer update in there with speech program and compliance engineering, please? Thank you. Okay, with those changes, do we want to make a motion to approve the changes?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
And I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of previous meeting minutes. I have no changes. Anyone else?
Make motion to approve today's meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item number 8, report. Steve. There he is.
Going gets further and further away every meeting.
It's summer.
Next month I'll be out there in the parking lot.
That's great.
Good evening, Steve Corcoran from Performance Engineering.
Oh, push the button there, Steve. Thank you.
Good evening, Steve.
Hello?
There, is it up now? Okay. All right, Steve Corcoran, Performance Engineering. Thanks for letting me kind of sneak in here at the start to give you my Reader's Digest version of what we just talked about for the last hour. Schedule-wise, the plant's coming along. There is a change order on your agenda tonight, which includes bumping the substantial completion and final completion out to the end of August and the end of September, respectively. That's just for the current work we have under contract right now. And that's to account for the fact that it was a worse winter than we've had in a while, and the ice storm, and the fact that there is not public water available to fill those tanks easily, so we had to truck water in for that. And that the cost of that water is on the change order as well. But as of this week, all the tanks have passed their leak testing. So they're backfilling, they're pouring the topping slab on the sludge tank tomorrow. There will be additional change orders when the $1 million supplemental grant from the EPA is finally available. And we put back into the contract the mechanical screen, the building addition, and that kind of stuff. That's going to push it out probably at least 5 months, because the lead time on the mechanical screen is 5 months alone right there. But this was just to get substantial completion mostly moved out. Right now, substantial completion by contract is June 28th, and you guys aren't meeting again before then. And USDA will probably going to be a little upset with the fact that we aren't meeting substantial completion. So that's what the change order is about tonight. But things are chugging along though. On the collection service side, Matt's is trying to get out of the beach club. They've been tuning up. They got all their pipe in. They got roads they're tuning up yesterday and today and tomorrow. The plan is to pave the beach club on Thursday. And if they don't get it all done Thursday, then on Friday, get some restoration work done in there Monday and Tuesday. They need to be out of there before Wednesday next week. And they probably won't, and they'll have everything done except mostly having to do the actual service lines themselves, and installation of grinder pumps and service lines for the lateral connections and that. They probably won't head back in there till sometime after mid-July, and they'll be working directly with CBC on making sure they schedule that, so they're not butting heads with the residents too much. They do have curb stops to still get in on South Prospect, and once all that part's done, we'll have them substantially complete. Both of their lift stations got power on Friday. It surprised us. I turned the corner up there on Friday and saw 3 consumers trucks and 4 or 5 guys at Prospect. And I got out and said, "You guys hooking power?" "Yep, we just did." I said, "What about Pier?" And they said, "Oh, there's another crew down there doing that one." Sure enough, I drove down there, 3 more trucks and 4 or 5 more guys. So I went from famine to feast in a day. So they both have power. They're trying to schedule their electrician in next week to get those wired up then, so we can get some testing done on that side of the river. Elmer's is essentially done, with the exception that their lift stations are not powered up yet. We're still working with consumers to get those scheduled. And they have a remaining piece of work to do that they can't do until they connect the post office and 2 houses that are on the current system. They all go to a little mini lift station out there across the street from the post office, and that needs to be taken out and salvaged. But they can't do that until they hook up the new system. We can't hook up the new system yet. So that'll be like an outstanding work item, but we're not going to hold that against them as far as substantial completion. As soon as the lift stations are up and running and test positive, we'll grant them substantial completion. All their equipment's finally gone, with the exception of the hydro seed trailer, which it's no longer at the beach parking lot. They've got it up at the church parking lot overnight, but they've been using that to water all the grass that they're trying to get growing around all their areas. That's the schedule update mostly. This phase 2 is still scheduled to start mid-month next month down at the southwest corner there at Barbara, Dorothy, and Doris. That intersection down there, work their way northeast. And we're starting to meet with people now to try and get more people so we can identify where they want us to leave their laterals or their curb stops for whatever system they're on. Questions? Okay, and any questions on the change order tonight either? Okay.
If you explained, you did a very good job of explaining the change order and the issue that we don't have a municipal water system, which is why we have to truck in the water to test the tanks that we truck.
Initially, you didn't even have a working well pump there, but they got it fixed. But it would have taken probably a couple of months to fill 150,000 gallons worth of water using a garden hose over there. So.
Yeah.
All right. But they did buy locally, Ramsby supplies.
Yeah. What would we do without this? Holy cow. Yeah. No question. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Well, for the bills, the reports are kind of crazy. There's a check register in here. The payroll register is in here, and it is 15 pages long, because I ran it from January 1st to June 30th. So it has all the employees for the township in here and every paycheck. Plus some EFTs to the IRS, the state, and everything, so that's all withholding taxes that have been paid. I have the invoice register here, and that is the bills, and there's 29 bills in the amount of $44,344.98. And then there's another check register in here for bills that have been already paid. Up to the date of, July 9th, this is over 88 checks. Bills that have been paid.
Have they done it then? It's Friday the June 18th, plus or minus a day or two. Well, I noticed a check in here for plastic cleaning. And on the invoice register, it startled me because I know we pay every week, but it said April 26th or April 25th.
Well, it's licensing.
Yeah, I'm looking at this report. This one, it's the check. So this one was for, here it is. For April and March and April for the 1250. But then, which is 273.75, and one of those, there was an extra charge during the ice storm, and we had the emergency shelter, which is fine. My concern though is, this is the invoice, it was dated April, which I think is a mistake. Their charge.
I don't think, we looked at that and I don't think she changed that.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But my concern is the difference here. Is she charging us more or is she doing more services? Than May, between May 10th and May 20th.
And we have to talk to them over inclusion because it's productive to, she's not doing more services.
Okay, so we can check with the auditor. Okay.
Okay, it's for $611.
Right.
But this is, definitely awesome.
She had mentioned to me when I saw her one morning that she was working more days.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. She mentioned that to me too. With it being summer and more activity through building.
Because I just remember her saying she's working more days, but I don't remember what she was.
Okay. I'm sorry, I forgot that. She did say that. My ears.
I make a motion to pay the bills if we're ready for that.
Yeah.
I can support it, paying those bills.
And all in favor?
I
Opposed? Motion carries. And the next is the treasurer's report.
Yes, it's short and sweet, no visual. We have 18 bank accounts. As of today, only 3 bank accounts are left, not as completely up to date. One of them was for the library, which we've been going round and around the CUD in the library. And today, we got them all, so I'll be able to get that done real quick on Thursday when I'm here. And then pool account, we talked about before, but it's coming. We're working on, we got a couple of glitches here and there, but we're really making great progress on that one. And then the sewer, we've got a couple of issues on one of the sewer. So you know, out of 18 accounts, 15 are up to date, considering where we started when we got here. So I'm pretty happy. I'd like to, Rachel, my deputy, is not here. Rachel is a 27-year veteran as a treasurer, and then she also worked for the county. And she went through that tax account with a fine-tooth comb. And we are there. She's reconciled through May. There's a little bit money left. When we got the account, it was supposed to be zero and it had 400,000 in it. And we're down to, I forget the exact dollar amount, but she's digging through trying to figure out who's supposed to have that. And then we'll be back down to zero. So the goal is to have that done next week so that when July 1 rolls around, we're where we're supposed to be. I also have good news. Today we went live with the new credit card machine at the window. So you can get your yearly pass at the window with your credit card. You can get a $9 pass. You can pay your taxes with your credit card. There is a small fee. It's $1.95, so it's not a percentage. It's $1.95. So it's cheaper than that other program we use. You can still go online, pay whatever you want. We are working on getting the boat launch. So we had talked with Parks wanted a QR code. So once BSNA is the software program, there's something they have to do on the backside that they didn't know about till today. So it's basically, once they get that done, that'll be up and running, and you can go to the website, click on boat launch, buy your ticket, your day pass, or whatever, when you're over there with your phone, so you won't have to worry about throwing a bunch of change. Yeah.
Can I know if there's questions, but, will they be able to, at the credit card, like reserve, like a pavilion?
No, but I can get that if you want. I can have that on.
Well, I just had a gentleman that was in Rochester, I'll talk to them.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry,
They would have to
sorry.
schedule the Karen to shoot it on the calendar and so there's no double
then they could
booking.
take care of my credit card.
I have a question, so over to you then, right?
I got it.
So if I am at the boat launch, and I wanna buy a day pass. But I use my credit card or the QR code. How do I get my ticket that goes on the?
You still, the annual code, as of right now, the annual pass, you'll have to get for months.
Okay.
But we'll have record that you paid it, just like now, sometimes people will pay their $49, shove it in an envelope, and then come over and say, hey, in my envelope, I took a picture of it, it's my $49. So, or they can pay the $49 online, you'll see it, and then we can issue them.
Okay.
So we haven't worked out all the bugs and how exactly to do it, because I just threw that on there today, but I'm excited it's doable. It's
Yeah.
doable.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's doable.
So they would still probably have to fill out something to put in their windshield if they're just doing the
They'll
base.
still have to do their paper one now, but they don't recently work out paying money. Right. So,
Sure.
and I have to tell them that I want what we want them to put in BSNA when they pay their payment, you know, like my ticket number is this and my rubber, my,
Oh, yeah, there you go.
so we have to, I can fill that all out for them. But, yeah, so it's a little, one step closer to being a little more
Yeah.
safer.
Or maybe,
Yeah, you know. And if people still want to pay cash, by all means, you can always still pay cash.
yeah, just kidding.
Cash is king, yes. And that's.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Any correspondence? None for me. Airport, working on the building. We'll get Mark or Ken in here with an update next month on the traffic volume. And, TVA. Oh, geez.
We have all the concrete up to date, it's all been repaired, that bill has been paid. So we are now closing out the streetscape. Or, can't remember, I'm supposed to call it streetscape. Pedestrian safety. So that is being closed out. Still, Dan is talking to the property owners south of Videos regarding extending the pathway. So that's still in the very beginning stages. We've got the summer music series going, and receiving a lot of very good donations for that.
And so the music series is sponsored by BDA, but it's funded primarily through donations, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And we funded through that. And definitely still up for discussion, where maybe adding a couple street, street artists,
Yeah,
I don't know what you call them.
Yeah,
to play at this end of the town on a different night, just to bring more people into town. So that's
yeah,
on
I
the,
think, that's kind of exciting to think about movement through town on nights other than the weekend, as summer comes and we have guests here. You know, a week, maybe longer. And there is some interest amongst other businesses as far as, the acts, artists in addition to music. So, and if you're interested, the DDA meeting is
third Monday of the month.
always.
I don't have the calendar. 7:00, third Monday,
Please come with your ideas, always looking for ideas.
and volunteers.
And volunteers, yep, it's a great group. Thanks, Sue. FOIA requests, we had 4, those have all been complied with. Library, Ms. Kelsey.
Well, happy June, everybody. Summer has arrived, and so has the library's summer reading program. So far, we have over 70 people already signed up. We opened up our registrations a little early this year, but it's not too late. It just technically actually opened yesterday. So you can come into the library or go on our website under summer reading program to get started. And Upon completion of the program, you will be entered into a drawing to win a grand prize, and everybody who completes the program gets a little something, so it's still worth doing. It's for all ages, so toddlers all the way through adults, and it's really fun. And we also made it where if you are working in the summer still, then you can still get this done without it being a hardship. So I really recommend it. It's really fun. It's called Color Our World, and we're doing kind of an ocean colors theme this year. So we also, this Thursday, we have Joel Tacey coming for the Picasso Magic Show. So it's an art-themed magic show. He came in the winter and did a winter, like a Christmas-themed one, and he's really great, really engaging. So if you have grandkids or kids around that you need to entertain, then I would recommend coming to that. It's this Thursday and here, 6 to 7 p.m. We also have on Monday, it's called Dinner with Winnie the Pooh, and it's a very exciting program that we're doing with Bright Star, and they're coming here. They're doing a production of Winnie the Pooh. And you can bring your picnic blanket, bring quiet snacks to enjoy the show. And that'll be really fun. So that's this Monday, coming Monday, June 16th, 5 to 6 p.m. We also have cat yoga coming back. It was pretty popular last year, so we're bringing it back. I'm not upset about it. So they'll be coming Wednesday, June 25th, 2 to 3 p.m. You can sign up on our website. It's $10 to attend, and that all funds go to the Sheboygan Humane Society. All the animals are adoptable, and all you need to do is bring water and a yoga mat, blanket, or towel. And if we have room and you haven't signed up, you can still come day of and see if you can squeeze in. And so also one more thing, just a plug for our friends group. They're doing a rare book sale during Old Fashioned Days, that Friday and Saturday. 10 to 2, oh, it's just Saturday, sorry, 10 to 2 p.m., but they're also going to have a booth over at the craft show in the nonprofit area Friday and Saturday. And they'll be selling used and rare books. So, and also you can go there to pick up kids' crafts and other little fun things. So, yeah, thank you. That's everything.
Did you want to talk about the Friends fundraiser?
I'll wait a month to do
Okay,
that.
all right.
When it's closer. It's in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? I absolutely loved having the Secretary of State here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to the school whether they would put it up on their,
Oh, no, I can though. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be coming again. So we are kind of working with the Secretary of State. They're doing a mobile office that they'll have here. And they can do, it's limited, but you can do things like voter registration. I think they have some auto things that you can do for your vehicle. And it's really nice because then you don't have to make an appointment either. They allow walk-ins. So they're coming once a month this summer. I have dates. I wrote them in here, I think. And if I don't, I'll bring them next month. Let's see. Yeah, so they'll be coming July 11th, and they'll be here 9 to 3 p.m. And that's this Friday. And then in August, they're coming Monday, August 4th, and that'll be also, they're all 9 to 3 p.m. And then in September, they're coming again on Monday the 15th. So that's a really nice service that they're providing, totally for free, just to make sure that they can give extra access to people as far as those types of services. So, yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. All right, any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And then parks.
We have, want to get up on the website, Tuscarora. We have 2 positions, 1 full-time position and 1 seasonal position available. Schedule would be Monday through Friday from 7 to 3, approximately 40 hours a week. Responsibility, we would lawn cutting, janitorial duties, and any tasks assigned by the supervisor. These will remain open until filled. We are in the process of getting the scoreboards for the baseball field at Cooperation Park, and that will finish up the Sheboygan Youth grant that we've been trying to get rid of. We also brought the truck and the trailer for sale up to the parking lot, and hopefully that'll be put back on the Tuscarora Township website. And we have also removed the Porta John from the green docks due to vandalism. And as of June 10th, to the Board of Trustees, due to personal conflicts at this time, accept this letter as my resignation effective immediately from the Parks Commission. It has been my privilege to serve on this committee and wish nothing but the greatest success for the parks and their endeavors. And I don't know if you want this, or I can email you a copy.
Beth, thank you for serving on the Parks Commission.
I apologize.
No, that's not necessary. It is sad, about the Porta John, but I definitely understand. Yeah. Okay. Jean?
So last month, we were audited by MCOLS, and for those of you who don't know what MCOLS is, but they're our law enforcement licensing authority. That's where we get our law enforcement license from. They came in, they went over our department hiring procedures, our department policies and procedures, our body cam and video surveillance storage, and officers' continuing professional education. Which is the training that we have to have by the state of Michigan every year. So we passed the audit with no corrective actions, so that was a good thing. Last month, we did have an officer that was hurt in the line of duty. She had actually had to have surgery on her thumb, and we're hoping that she will be back sometime in July. So as of right now, we're just getting ready for the 4th of July parade and the fireworks. I'd like to give a quick update on the building grant. Summit Fire has completed all the work for the fire system. If you were here yesterday morning, it was loud in here. I can tell you right now, the audible alarm works, and so do all those little flashing bulbs up there. We're just waiting for our final inspection on the fire system. That's supposed to take place either sometime later this week or early next week. And then they will be submitting for final payment. One thing we need to talk about on Thursday at the building grant meeting is do we want 24-hour monitoring on that system? So
What does that entail?
if there's an issue anywhere in the building, it goes to all of us administrators, and if it's a fire, they will actually call 911 for us and get fire responding. So. Heating and cooling. Obviously, it's still hot in here. Temperature control came in 2 weeks ago with one of their engineers. They went through our entire system and developed, a plan of attack on how they're going to fix our system. Currently, they're working on the graphics for each entity to be able to have control over their own heating supply. To be able to monitor their own room temperature. Right now, I'm the only one that's doing that, and even when I'm trying to cool it down, it doesn't work. So they're planning on going through each air handler first, bringing them up to good working condition. We don't even have fresh air intake on that's working on any of our air handlers. So there's no fresh air coming into the building. So they want to get all that up and running first. They're still planning on July. They want to drain the system and then start changing out the VAV boxes and all the valves that are not working. So it's coming. It's just slow. So, Any questions?
That 24/7 monitoring for Summit, is that included in their bid or is that separate?
That's gonna be all separate. That's gonna be a yearly
Oh, I see.
fee that will be split amongst the three entities.
Okay.
They're gonna send a wrap up to talk to us about that. So we'll do it on a Thursday at 11 a.m. and we'll let him explain it all to us.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep, thank you. All right, that's it for report, old business. RFP, request for proposal for the audit.
So at the last meeting, based on emails that went back and forth, I thought we were obligated to stay with Cambridge. I thought we were under contract. I found out that, it's not true, that's my miscommunication, and I have emails for that if anybody's interested. However, I did speak with Neil, our CPA, on May 19th and asked for the template for the RFP and a list of potential firms. His recommendation is that we stick with Cambridge because we are new and they know our township. In the policy, it states that if the goods or service is only available from a single source, the additional quotes can be waived by writing sole vendor on the purchase order or voucher. This exception must be documented and provided to the board prior to ordering the product or performance of the service, at which time the additional quotes may be waived. Important here, a single source supplier, sole vendor, is defined as the only practical supplier available due to limitations of geographic location, timeliness of shipping, or whatever, uniqueness of product, or ability of supplier to serve the best interest of the township. That's in the policy book. So, just based on where we are at, how long Cambridge has been with us, the fact that, like Neil said, we are all new and we walked into a lot. My recommendation and my motion is that we stick with Cambridge because they do know our township. And we should sign the engagement letter and send it back.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
Yes.
We can discuss it?
Yeah, support.
Okay, support from Sue.
So,
Discussion. Sign the engagement letter. Did you get a template from you?
Actually, I did reach out to MTA and requested one, which I just got back yesterday, and a list of potential firms, which I got back yesterday. That is sitting on my desk. I didn't
Okay.
I haven't really had a chance to go over it with my schedule by the time I got it, but I will look over it tomorrow and make copies and hand it out to everybody. But, I mean, it's already June. And we want to start shopping now.
Right.
I know that we've gone out for bid in the past, so there's, should be something out there, possibly on the Deer Drive. But personally, with the fact that what they had to do for a audit last year, and then I sincerely think we should just stick with them for this year. If we want to go out for bid, and go out for bid, soon for next year or 3 year, whatever. That's my recommendation, but, I just really think we need to stick with them for 1 year.
And what are the chances of us being, even buying something, who would step in and take us at such a late date? Because I don't know much about that part, but most people already have their dockets set, who they're gonna audit.
Do we set it out as a short bid, a 2-week bid? See if there's any response, if there's no response, then we'll go 3 days. Sure.
Right. To make sure.
That way,
that-
that's, we're following.
Well, I think with
Same
what-
policy.
I think we are following the policy though, with
was read there. Are our RFPs able to go out electronically?
Sure.
So I'm inclined to want to put it out there, include Beavers in the 3 or 4 that we send it to bring their due diligence. If we end up back with Beavers,
Do
that's
you
fine.
have 3 or 4 that do municipal? Okay,
No, I don't know.
I know,
Laura
that's-
has those messages, I
Okay.
just.
We have 2 weeks to start looking at all that. That's even without even interviewing or looking at all of it.
Understand. I agree with that Dennis, you have, I'm much better at reading than hearing it, but it's said.
You know, when I get you one, I'll make copies of it.
Well, the question was, I'm sure Beavers is not.
um. Okay, just start including.
They've got a template. If they give us a template, that should be. Organized information.
Is there questions here? Would you have to have an excerpt wrote already for, it says, this exception must be documented and provided to the board prior to ordering the product. This is,
So we would have to do the RFP, and then we would all have to agree. And we have 2 weeks before they start getting their product.
right, let's say for the sole vendor exceptions. I just want a letter presented to us saying, hey, this is the only sole vendor.
I don't think that's necessarily what it's saying. It's also saying that due to the timeliness, due to,
Supplier
availability,
to serve the best interest of the township.
of serving that's,
was
that to me is the.
I see what John's saying though, that if the goods or service is only available from a single source, then the additional quotes can be waived by writing sole vendor on the purchase order. This exception must be documented and provided to the board prior to ordering the product or components of the store.
If we haven't ordered that.
Right, so,
If you're regardless and it's an afternoon.
yeah, so the question is, do you send it out for the short RFP, do you either way, you have to have something? Do we have
Essentially,
I guess
have a response
I guess I
to,
read differently.
have a response to why it's necessary, I guess, to go down there.
Because it's the ability of the supplier to serve in the best interest of the township. And for us this year, with the way things were last year, and them having done the audit on those books, that for me, this is in the best interest of the township to use it for.
So where's the first 2 statements of the,
I guess where's the response that
the exception must be documented and provided to the board prior to ordering or proponents of the service. That's where I'm getting stuck. It's not, the stuff is not, has nothing to do with acreage. It has to, the motion on the table is to sign the engagement letter and go with acreage. My sticking point is the exception must be documented and provided to the board prior to ordering for the performance of the service. And at that time, at which time, additional quotes may be waived.
And that's what that's what we're doing now. We've got-
Does it revoke? Does it need a written response, I guess, or?
Well, it says must be documented, I guess that's.
That's fine.
what we're talking about right now.
And that's what this is.
I'm just asking for clarification.
Yeah.
Well, again, I would feel better having it go out for a short RFP for myself. But the motion on the table is to go to sign the engagement letter for 1 year with Cambridge. And there's support for that, so that's the conversation we're having. Any additional conversation?
Looking at the best interest of the township, it would be just since we're already at the 10th, you only have 20 more days and we're done with the year. That's a quick amount of time to find somebody else. And then my thoughts are, so we put it out for RFP, and no one's gonna probably send something back, or they're gonna send, you know what I mean? I mean, chances are, you put out an RFP, the only person's gonna respond is Cambridge anyways, so then it's, we did, even though that other part of the policy says in the best interest of the township, but I just worry about us not always getting 3 RFPs.
Again, the documentation is whether you get the RFP, and we know that we don't always get. We didn't, when we put legal out, we didn't,
But we put it out.
but we put it out. So again, there's documentation that we at least made the attempt. Has anybody checked with Cambridge on their availability, or do they still have time in their calendar?
With some engagement letter. And I think as far as like the best interest of township and the way I'm looking at it is, like Sue said, they did our audit for last year with all of that we walked into. So going into this audit, they know what was there and what to look forward to and what they told us our recommendations were and everything. So they have all of that history.
Agreed.
And we know the struggle that we had this year to get things
Exactly.
So again, the motion is to sign the engagement letter for Cambridge without the RFP.
Can we modify the motion?
How do you want to modify it?
I don't know, I'm just saying, to include sending out an RFP per week. Yes.
I don't know what I have to do.
No, add on to, not
That's
take
not
away.
my motion.
Right, that's what I'm asking if you can.
Well, it would be 2 completely different things.
Okay. Had to ask.
Okay, well, so any more discussion on the motion? Maybe we should do a roll call vote on this? Is there any other discussion? So let's restate the motion just one more time.
That, for advisement from our CPA that we, stay with Cambridge, sign the engagement letter and mail it back for this year's audit.
Sue,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
John?
No.
Laura, yes.
Motion passes. Okay. Next item is the table.
Waiting to let's see.
I'm sorry.
We didn't table B, we tabled C.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
so
right.
the employee letter and policy are in the board packet. And they have all been sent out.
I don't know. Is it in the board packet?
Yes.
Rules for employees, and then information on.
Okay. So.
Is that the to all employees?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the policy.
Okay, so what is ESTA, just for the audience who may not be aware of the acronym?
I'm sorry.
Okay, no, and then
All sick time.
how is it different from what we currently have? People earn sick time currently, right?
With ESTA, you get 1 hour for every 30 hours you work, whether you're part-time or full-time.
Well, not exactly. For part-time or full-time people, we are
Except for elected officials.
elected. Um, And then who's, under eligibility in the letter, it talks about, and they're not classified as exempt. Everybody else. Because we're elected, is it, what about Doug Kuiper or
Doug Schofield, he's down to the
but what about,
Is there minimum hours that they have to work before they receive it?
well, just every 30 hours. It doesn't matter if it takes them 2 months to get 30 hours, they'll get an hour.
so what about Bruce Thompson? He's not even, is it, his contractor, is Kuiper considered a contractor? And then, under requesting documentation, employees should provide notice as soon as practical.
You know, it's commanded.
No, I know, but does it matter if it's by phone or personally, maybe, does it matter? And how do people let you know that they're using their estimate?
They let you know, and it's approved through the BSNA, and then you put in their hours, and they say they have 4 hours left. We'll put that on there, and if it does,
So would that automatically come off if they're calling in sick? Does it automatically come off of that?
yes.
Yeah, off the
Karen
answer.
votes it in and everything.
Okay, that's right.
Can you choose some of it? I'm just speaking from my own personal experience with ESTA. If I have a day that I'm off because I'm not feeling well, it's my option based on my employer, whether I want to use PTO or my ESTA. Let's say I only have 2 hours of ESTA left, I can choose to use it. Or I can use to just take it off my PTO. It's really easy. Just have to offer it for the state because it's a law now and we have to go by their guidelines. Okay. Just so you know it's there.
That's what I was sure about.
You're gonna work on that policy and a bit of background.
Yeah.
Right. Item 90D, which Jonathan is extending the police chief contract, which runs from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028. It's a 3-year contract.
I thought it changed because it said supervisor.
I know, just cross that out.
There was very little change to the contract. It's, you don't have to sit over there. Stand, I should say. Again, it's from 7/1/2025 to 6/30/2028. It is the same 4% per year increase. And the addition of the, what is that? Longevity pay. So that was the only difference in our contract. And he is willing to sign this for another 3 years.
I am.
If we pass. So that is my motion, is that we approve this 3-year contract for our chief.
Any discussion? Good, sign them up. All in favor? Aye.
Lock them in.
You're stuck.
Thank you, I think.
Motion.
Yeah, right.
We'll remind you. We should put in there, he starts the coffee every morning.
They'll be getting a phone call because it's too hot up here.
Yeah, really. Okay. All right. Silversmith math error. You recall last month, we presented the Silversmith contract, which is an asset management for the sewer meeting. We will be able to incorporate all of our sewer pumps, grinder pumps, ejector pumps. We can have our benches, we can have our lawnmowers and, desks and all of our assets there. Chris and I were fortunate to sit in on a demo, and it's the more we looked at it, the more we saw the applicability of it. The company is out of Gateway, that's a very good thing. They're offering to come kind of on the fly as we need it. Very supportive, recommended by Performance Engineering. They're used by Help Me Out. Oh, yeah. Many of our northern areas. Interestingly, they were started in the gas and oil industry. And now they have morphed into, water, sewers, other asset types. So the point being, if you look at this, there was a mathematical error on the contract. The initial tile, the setup cost is $6,592. They include, there's a GPS marking device, $2,700. The total upfront cost is $9,292. At the May meeting, the total was added and was erroneously $8,292. It was a math error on the contract. The correct amount is $9,292. And then an annual hosting fee after this initial year of $2,185. So I wanted to point out the math error. We did pass it last month. Put a motion out there to approve the Silversmith contract with the correction in the math.
And they will come and help this all loaded up.
Yes, they're coming next week to train, and we can have any number of devices on it. It could be a phone, it could be a laptop, it could be a tablet. It will help when if an alarm goes off in the sewer system. And we can also put through work orders to maintain our equipment and assets. So these on everything. So lights, DDA stuff, all of it. Yeah. So my motion is that we accept this corrected Silversmith contract with the total upfront cost of $9,292. That's what we do. And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Update on the budget amendment transfer from May.
Yeah, and we did discuss it in April also. So since we have made so much effort in reconciling all the bank accounts, we know, we're getting to the point where we know exactly what that dollar amount's supposed to be instead of we think roughly maybe. So we are getting ready, once we have that all finalized, then we'll do that budget amendment and transfer the money. But we thought since we were, at the time in April, things were going slow and, the storm, so, but now we know and, we're gonna wait and we'll handle that and you'll hear about that in July.
So it is a budget amendment and a physical transfer of money.
Yeah, and I was confused the last time because, and I didn't transfer any money because I read it, but I only looked at the GL numbers that were on the motion and they weren't cash account numbers, so I was confused about, well, how do I transfer any money when it's not a cash number? But then after talking, then there's a little more detail, so, and also then I can have more time to understand exactly what it's for. Yes.
Because it'll make a difference in our, the whole budget for the year. So that's because it's gonna have to come out of the general fund.
And I knew you knew all about it, but I just didn't have a chance to get educate me more about it, so.
Okay, so I don't think there's a motion that needs to be made, there's no information. Okay, perfect, thank you. And, item G, new O&M rates, Sue, do you wanna just address that?
Yeah, working on getting data together as to where we're at with what we're collecting, as far as O&M, where we need to be, for O&M. And I want to have that ready, when they have the, hearing on the budget.
That's a week from Thursday, for those of us in the sewer district. We'll have a budget hearing, but we'll also address Sue and working, bringing in that oil, gathering those costs, so we'll have some final numbers there.
A big discussion.
And big discussions, absolutely. Again, informational more than, okay, new business, sewer construction goals. This is phase 1, phase 2, wastewater treatment plant, and the change order. So we have a request from ours. Phase 1 gravity, the request from Almers is for $152,255.81. It includes the roadbed prep and paving at Oakland Street, Witt Boulevard, the Pike, Constance Avenue, and Arthur, along with cleanup and restoration along roads throughout all of phase 1. Next item is from Matt's Underground for sewer extension phase 1 low pressure system. The amount is $111,859.15. It reflects the work performed to date. This work includes installation of gravity sewer main and service laterals on Pier Avenue. We also have a pay request from Grand Traverse Construction for the wastewater treatment plant expansion project. The total amount being requested by Grand Traverse is $377,352.35. Reflects all work performed to date. The project has funding from the USDA and EGLE as part of phase 1 and from the USDA and EPA as part of phase 2. Funding sources, I don't know if I want to break all those down in the packet. But the amount from owed to Grand Traverse Construction, again, $377,352.45. We have an invoice for phase 1 from Performance Engineers for the period 4/27 through 5/31. Total amount due on that invoice, $21,627.75. Again, phase 1. Another invoice for phase 2 for the same period, April 27th, 2025 through May 31st, 2025. The amount of this invoice is $27,512.15. Change order number 4. This is for the water at the treatment plant, and reinforcing the rebar, where the tank walls intersect, and the change of the completion date, the extension to 8/29/25 with a final change completion date to 9/26/25.
So the total would be 18,000?
Yes, yes, yep, $18,710.40. And, yeah, 150,000 gallons of water. Holy cow. Somebody told me how many tankers that was. Seems silly running in the water when you're buying water, but. Okay, so, motion to accept the sewer bills and change orders for phase 1, phase 2, and the wastewater treatment. And second,
Also,
and any questions, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Policy change, policy 4.4, timetable policy. So you want to, talk about that? We talked about the wording, do you want to change the wording?
Yes, under 4.4, the current policy states that the final budget adoption would be held on the last Tuesday in June. The law only states that it has to be adopted prior to the end of June. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on Tuesday, just as long as it is done and just stated according to the law, and I wish I had written that out. But that's my recommendation, that we just change it to meet the legal standards of being completed by the end of June, by the end of our fiscal year. And otherwise, policy's fine.
Okay, so that's the motion, I'll support that. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. June meeting dates. Last year at the June 27th, 2024 meeting, a motion was made and carried that there was going to be a change, and the July meeting for 2025 would be held on June 26th of 2025. Being that we have Steve come here every month, and the reason was good, although this year doesn't seem to be necessary, it was done for the holiday. The holiday falls on Friday. Our July meeting will be July 8th. We will not be having it in June. We will, if you look back, our meetings are always the second Tuesday of the month. So I don't see this as being an issue again for another few years. Okay. So, my motion is that the June 26th meeting be changed to the original date of July 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. for the township meeting. That's my motion.
What about the June 25th, the budget, or is it because you're changing the policy that sets that? Okay. I'll support that.
Thank you. And discussion, we can talk about these other bits now. So if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Oh, just that, because the June 25th, I believe, is a Wednesday,
Yes,
instead of the Tuesday.
yeah. So we have some dates coming up with regard to the budget. So June 12th, which is this week at 7, we have a budget workshop after the magic show, so come to the magic show. Then June 19th at 6:30, we have a special meeting. We'll be talking, it's the budget hearing, and also we're talking about the O&M rate that Sue's been gathering and evaluating data for weeks. June 25th at 6:30 is the budget adoption. And then our regular July meeting will be July 8th, 2025 at 7. So, but the motion on the table is that we have our regular July meeting on July 8th, 2025 at 7. Any other discussion?
I think it's a really good idea. When we used to skip it, you'd end up having a special meeting because you can't go that long for bill paid for everything anyways. So.
Yeah, trying to keep track of all these meetings is become, it's a good chance.
Can you run those dates one more time?
Yes, sir. June 12th at 7 is the budget workshop, right here. June 19th at 6:30 is the special meeting for the budget hearing and the O&M rate discussion. June 25th at 6:30 is the budget adoption. And then the regular July meeting is July 8th, 2020 at 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. M&M maintenance agreement. We have entered into, we are, as you heard from Chief Gordon, we are working on the heating and cooling system. We have asked M&M Plumbing and Heating to give us a preventive maintenance agreement to help support that system so that we can stay warm and cool in the proper time. Then we'll replace something. And let's see, they're going to come 3 times a year. Help me, 3 times a year?
Yes.
And they're going to check belts and boiler kits and clean out the big filter that's down there, which in the past when it's been running, has been a quite a stack of dust. So they're gonna do seasonal visits, AC in the spring, heating in the fall, 2 additional visits, they say 4 a year.
This for you.
Okay, my mistake, yeah. Filter replacement on the 3 large air handlers. There is a 10% discount on all labor and parts. The contract is effective for 1 year. And the renewal will be sent 30 days in advance of the contract expiring. There is a 5% discount given on equipment replacement. There is after hours and holidays billed at normal after hours pricing. But given that in the past we've not done any of this maintenance on our HVAC system, it's warranted. So an annual service contract with M&M Plumbing and Heating, and this will be shared 3 ways, correct?
Correct.
The total cost is $2,950 annually, divided 3 ways.
It's right here.
Okay. Great. So the motion on the table is, to enter into this maintenance agreement with M&M Plumbing and Heating. The cost to be shared 3 ways between the Tuscarora Township Police Department, Indian River Area Library, and the Tuscarora Township.
And contingent upon the library as well.
Yes, and the police. Okay. Is there a second for that? I'll second that. Discussion? Who's the first and second? Laura's first, I seconded. Sorry, going too fast. Oh, sorry, okay, sorry about that. Discussion? No discussion?
And if this is, I'm sorry, is it 3 years?
No,
1 year, okay,
shared,
good.
the cost is shared.
So that we can see how we like the service.
Exactly, and if we're running into issues, but hopefully we'll be all, we will be filtered, you know.
And they will provide us with a new contract 30 days prior to the original contract expiring.
Question?
Is this something that we need to RFP for also or not?
Good question. Do we need to send this out for bid?
It doesn't meet the dollar amount.
Okay.
Okay, good, thank you. Answer that question.
Hey, Kelsey, have you run this by your board or not yet?
Yeah, they already approved it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you did already?
And Gordon, you're.
I already approved it.
Your board did or you did?
Yes, we did. Okay. So motion on the table by Laura, second, support is there. Any more questions? Discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we'll get that Thursday.
Yep.
All right, building maintenance agreement. So this is a building maintenance agreement between the Indian River Area Library, the Police Department, and the Township. It has been in existence for,
Ever.
thank you. The only change, it is, my understanding is that it is typically reviewed every April, which we did at our building maintenance agreement and community grant meeting. The only change we made is that instead of looking at the expenses at the end of every quarter, we will do, it's being done every month and more often than that. So,
That's what I was gonna say, because the utilities are split out, if it's still being done that way. And just copies given to the police and the library of those bills, so that's still being done.
Yes, and we have to approve them and sign off on them.
so this was reviewed, by the library board and signed, by the library board president Greg Rother in May, on May 20th. Police chief Gordon Temple signed it May 21st, I signed it May 21st. Again, the only changes is that we would look at this every month, so.
My only concern on it is if again, there's an emergency, there's nothing, I don't see anything in here
Oh, there is.
for
There's,
emergency.
yeah, it says that unless it's an emergency, it needs to be.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
I missed it.
But if it's an emergency, please go ahead and call whoever needs to be called.
Okay, that was when I looked through it, okay.
And just so that the public knows, the cost, in this contract, this agreement, the costs are shared 40-30-30, the library 40%, township 30, police 30. Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Opposed? I don't think we did that. I'm sorry. I'll make a motion to, accept the building maintenance agreement between the Indian River Area Library, the township, and Tuscarora Township Police Department, as has been in effect forever. And the only change being that the prorated expenses are reviewed every month rather than quarterly. I'll support that. Thank you. And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, I missed the signature on the fireworks contract, and I just need,
I'll make a motion to approve the permit.
okay. I'll second that. Questions, comments, discussion? It's a requirement and we can't have the fireworks. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Cemetery open and close.
And this includes the admin fee for the township. I didn't see any bid come in for the regular position that we contracted, I don't know how many years. Looking at what other townships pay for what he does, his request for the increase that he wants is right in line with what other townships are paying. Also, there's been a request to increase the township's $30 administration fee for the grade, and that is whenever the grade needs to be open, closed, so somebody buys one, any services provided, there's a fee for $30, and there's been a request to increase that to $50. So my motion, just to keep Bruce Thompson, he's been doing it for us for years, he knows where everybody's at. If you wanna know where somebody's at in these 700 years, he's got it down. And he does a great job. So that's my motion. My motion is to keep Bruce Thompson as a rate bidder, to approve it and give him this increase, and to increase the admin fee from $30 to $50.
So we have a motion on the table, we need support.
Support. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, discussion.
He was also asking for that increase for the weekends that are, go to the Friday before and the Monday after.
Yeah, holiday.
Yeah. Why?
It's always been more money on the weekend.
I know that. But say a holiday is Sunday, why, if there was to be a grade dug on Friday before that, why would there be an increase for that day? They do the same thing? I know, but I don't remember that ever being in this.
I didn't look at last year's, so I just know we got an increase last year as well.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to, we can table it and look at it.
No, I just didn't, that's one part I just didn't agree with. Sorry, Bruce.
Oh, no, I understand.
Also, what I learned after this all came up last month, is I talked to a few other people that deal with other cemeteries, and the fact that, it's a very precise measurement of where you put that person, and if you're off by a little on this one, then you're off by this much on the next one, then you're off by this one on the next one, by the time you end the end of the row, you got a person a third in the grave and 2/3 on the row. And since he's so experienced with this, he knows how to do that.
And he's always been on time, to get everything done. That was my only complaint about. Yeah.
And I also learned that he had stayed so flat with his grades for so long, and then when he finally went, hey, what do other people get? He went, oh, wow. And so that's why he did the 2 big increases, which made me uncomfortable, but after talking to a couple of people, you know, everything else is going on.
The township doesn't pay us, we collect it from the person who's paying for the services and yes. And what we keep is the admin fee, which we're often suggesting for the work involved, getting the money back and forth.
And also applied towards doing, change of deeds, and it's the same thing as it always is.
Yeah, I think we had parts on there, cleaning out the cemetery and stuff, and it's nice to think about.
Additional discussion? All in favor to accept these changes in fees as proposed by Bruce Thompson and to change the admin fee from $30 to $50? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. It is very hot in here. It's very hot in here.
Nice fat man.
Okay. Emergency expenses authorization by supervisor. Last month it was brought up that maybe we should look into having this policy. Lo and behold, we do.
How it's in there?
It was in there. So there's no action necessary for those of you that want to browse the Tuscarora Township policies. It is policy number 4.85. The town, so it's there. no motion necessary, just FYI. Very good, but a good question. Sewer flange, ugh. Okay, at the pump lift station number 2, which is the main lift station at Ruby Road 168. We've been having trouble out there. We tried reversing the pump, we tried having it flushed, they were going to jet it. What's been found is that it's a dual pump, as we learned today at the sewer meeting. The flange on one of them is not working. It is affecting the other pump as well. We had a pump on the shelf that is able to be replaced. So we need to replace, the proposal, the estimate is to replace the flange. To do so is $4,142.85. If we wanted to replace both flanges on both pumps, it would be $8,285.70 plus the confined space costs. Well, okay. You go down into the cistern where the sewage is, and one side is clean and one side is not, and it's both quarters. And there's a premium on people who do that.
Every bit.
Yeah, me too. So, we've got a quote from Milan Supply. Tammy out at Meaden Hunt, they are looking at a rebuilt pump from Detroit Diesel. Hadn't heard from her yet this week, still waiting on that. I don't know if we want to say yes, well, so the motion is to replace the pump. Yeah, 1 or 2 flanges. The estimate in here is for 2. So that's the motion.
Well, they're both the same age.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you're gonna pay that confined spaces team to come in once or twice.
Yep. I think we do both.
No idea what the total cost is for the special team.
No, I thought she told us that. Do you remember?
The bill we had, from the last book we did 2 weeks ago, was $4,000 for that one branch.
Yeah. But do you remember what the team was?
But one is a heavy control.
Oh, yeah, KBO.
No, it's not, because, the bill is addressed to the month.
Oh, that's right.
And they haven't given us, we asked for it, we need to do both at one time, but we haven't gotten
Right.
information back. But there's 5 weeks, 6 weeks, wait order to get parts.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. They've got temporary one.
Yeah, it's temporarily.
What area do I want to stay with? Ruby Road 68.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion?
Yeah, I just am not quite sure how to make the motion because, so,
We're gonna have, I recommend we divide the 2, and we're gonna have to pay the cost to have somebody do it.
yeah, we can't do it. I'm not good to it.
No.
So,
I
if you got the words,
I would just say that we are, approve up to the $88,285.70 plus the, confined space cost.
I remember that.
I don't know, up to,
I can't, I wish I knew.
What is going with the
No.
both sides?
Do you want to set another limit?
that's what I was gonna say, 6,000 is what, unless you need more than that.
If I can charge 4 to go down, and you have to go up twice, and you're gonna cut a deal and give us that.
They're not
No, so I'm thinking it's gonna have to be 4 and 4 is gonna have to be 8,000.
Or you could,
Nine.
9, yeah.
So you're saying 82, 85, 70 plus up to an additional 9 for the confined spaces team? For a total, what's the total there?
17,285.70.
So the motion on the table by Sue is to,
Pardon me?
We take it from RRI.
Yes,
yeah.
that'll be another separate one.
So the motion by Sue is to approve replacing both flanges at 82, 85, 70 and pay an additional, up to an additional $9,000 for the confined spaces team for a total of $17,285.70. Support for that motion?
I will support that.
Okay. Discussion?
No, I think it's a good idea to be doing both.
Yeah, because they are the same age. Yep. Okay. And it's, what, 5 to 6 week lead time, is that the,
5 to 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks lead time. So once we approve it, we let them know and then let it order.
yep, absolutely. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do we need a motion to take it out of our guide?
We do, but do we want to wait till we know the exact amount?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sewer plant, RV laundromat. Table this.
We're tabling the laundromat.
Yep, we thought he might come in, but, they've broken ground with the laundromat.
Open
No.
station pickup. Yeah.
Yeah, right. We put him on hoping he might, but he's not ready. That's okay. MTA membership.
Okay, in your packet, there's an invoice from MTA for our yearly dues. Do you remember with them? $59.47. Below that, if we select, there's different options. So if we select a premium pass, which is an extra $1,900, that gives everybody for any premium, unlimited, a volunteer versus anybody can go and take any free premium.
It's just the online. Correct.
So I think it's $1,900 of parts or EDA, anybody, if you guys, I think it's awesome.
They have these, I call them luncheon runs.
Even though it was great that we went to that MCU person training, that was a lot of information in one day. And so this would be nice if I'm not really
Sit
sure
at your
about this.
desk and
So I propose that we pay our membership and we subscribe to the premium pass, all courses included for an additional $19. Since we're all are new, we all have to do some extra training.
So include legal defense then? That's optional.
Oh, it is, it says your legal defense fund contribution for the year is optional, $173.22.
We take that out. So it's optional.
Yeah, because they really want to give,
They don't give advice, so, and we pay separately for legal.
thank you.
Okay, so I propose we pay your annual dues payment of $5,774, not pay the optional legal defense fund, and also add the premium pass for $1,900.
I'll second it.
Any additional discussion? So the total we're looking at paying is $7,674.
Yes.
Any more discussion? Okay.
So when you deal, if you don't like it, you don't use it, or
Yep.
it's not beneficial.
Yep.
you know, it's fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. So in all of our spare time. Yeah. Job posting parts. Beth already talked about it. And last item on the agenda, new business, raise Karen Becker.
Okay, I'm the one that looked into this, and I'm making a motion to increase wages for Karen Becker, our office assistant. She's been with us it's almost 2.5 years now, and she hasn't received a raise since she started. I'm making a motion that we give her a $2 an hour increase, and that'll bring her to $20. And she's part-time. She works 22 hours a week.
Okay.
She does a lot for our office. She does do a lot for our office, but we only gave our chief of police 4%. So hers would be 4% for 2 years, and she didn't even have, she didn't do anything since she's. How many is that? 2.5. But that makes sense, because that'd be 4% a year. That's 2 years, and a half a year would be 2%, so the two together would be 10%. Which would be about 86. Did you follow that math? It's too late.
Okay, so the motion. So your motion is to increase Karen Decker's rate of pay, to $20 an hour.
Correct.
Okay, do we have support for that?
I'll support that.
Okay, now discussion, we can discuss it. So she works about 22 hours a week. She hasn't had a raise since she started. She does do a lot.
The one other thing, will this increase, you know how she has to, she's gonna work X amount of dollars in a year? Look into that, she's okay with it. Okay, cool, good.
I believe she's really stepped up,
Oh, yeah.
especially in taking care of putting everything on the website, and she takes care of everything with the cemeteries.
I mean, she's leading people out of the cemeteries anytime somebody wants to go up there and see what the family plot looks like or whatever. She's right out there.
I agree. So when do you propose this take effect with the new budget year? First pay after the new budget year?
That's usually, probably, yeah, that's really some beginning of a fiscal year.
Any more discussion? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, B. Public comment. Raise your hand up.
My hand's up.
To the podium.
You know, it'd be for her.
To the podium, to the podium.
I have a request. In the board packet, in the agenda, you have reports, and then we have a page with one word on it for each report in the board packet, which is 7 pages. Can we just get rid of those 7 pages? You already have them all listed anyways. It'll make it a much small, it's 7 pages times 5 people, and everybody who has to scroll.
Oh,
That's it.
any other public comment? Let's call, public comments is closed, board comments. Board comment. Motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned 8:39.
Well, that was just 3 minutes late, so that's. You know what, you